For most of us, finding love is the ultimate goal in life. It has been said that you haven't lived if you haven't loved. Love is that feeling that oftentimes cannot be explained. It has to be felt. Love is responsible for some of the craziest things that people have done in their lifetime. So the question today is love enough? Is love enough to stay in a relationship? Can love alone sustain a long-lasting marriage? Come with us. Let us dive into this topic together and see if we can get some answers today.
Welcome to Totally Thorpe. I'm Wynter.
And I'm Krista Thorpe.
Join us as we discuss money and marriage. Let me first start off by saying being in love and loving someone is not the same. Love for me is a choice. I have to get up every day and choose to love my wife.
Yes.
Even though I am very much in love with this woman, because remember, being in love with a person does not erase real life issues.
So true.
Let's put it this way. When Crystal and I were dating, it didn't matter how head over heels I was with her. Trust and believe. If we didn't want some of the same things, we wouldn't have proceeded.
That is true. Couldn't work.
At all. So it has to get a little bit deeper than that, and you have to look at all the other areas. They have to line up.
For sure. And for me, it definitely had to be more like communication, trust, and more importantly, life goals, right? Those things have to line up. Some people are in marriages today and they don't love their partner, or the reality is that many people marry and they are not in love, and they're not even attracted to each other, and what they really have is just a good partnership, and partnership in that their financial aspect line up, the social aspect line up, and building wealth or wealth creation. That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
But in terms of love, that's not there. And guys, don't be surprised, because these things happen in today's society. People get married for so many reasons, so many different reasons.
Well, I'm sorry, I wanted it all.
Yes.
Love was the main, it was one of the main ingredients,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the only ingredient.
Right.
Because I can tell you for a fact though, I find everything in you.
Everything?
All in one.
All in one. All in one. Well, for me, I kind of started things backward, and I think I did that to protect myself, because some people fall in love and, they deal with the issues after they fall in love. But for me, I wanted to deal with the issues first. I wanted to ask all those deal-breaking questions first before I even put myself in a place to say I can fall in love or be in love with you.
Now we want to hear from you. So put in the comment section and let us know, is love enough, and why or why not? So we have a very special guest with us today, very special to our hearts.
For sure.
Now we've spoken about her a couple of times on our show already. She has been a big part of our relationship journey, and trust me, I don't think that's going to change for now.
Not at all. I mean, she actually facilitated our premarital counseling sessions, and today she's still helping us in so many areas that we're still struggling in.
All right, so please help us to welcome the clinical psychologist and founder of Tea House Therapy, Sonia Wynter.
Hey,
Yes,
thank you
welcome.
so much. What an introduction.
Welcome. We're so happy to have you with us, Sonia.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and just your background in counseling?
Sure, okay, I'd love to.
Yeah.
But actually, what, before I even talk about myself, I'd love to talk about you guys.
Really?
Yeah, because the truth is you are amongst my most favorite alumni,
Aww.
right? From the premarital
Yeah.
program. And I think, I was thinking about it when I got here. What makes you guys stand apart? In case you didn't know, I'm going to tell you what I've noticed about you that makes you really stand apart. That makes me hopeful that you guys are going to stand the test of time, is that you always do 4 things, both of you, right? Whenever there's something you're struggling with, the first thing you do is you reach out for help.
Wow.
You might be experts in loving each other, but you're not experts in human behavior, right? So you reach out for help. That's step 1. And being willing to do that, power to you. The next thing I notice is once you come to me, there's this determination to really listen to each other for understanding. So you listen, right, in session. The third thing that you both do is that once you understand that you take responsibility for your actions.
Right.
You take responsibility for the fact that my actions have had an impact on my partner and it's not what I intended, and you take responsibility.
Right.
And 4, you leave my office determined to do differently.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it's those 4 things that
Wow.
sets you apart.
Wow.
Okay? That
Wow.
sets you apart so that you know you have a good road ahead of you. You know what I
Wow.
mean? The tough times when they come, they don't stop you in your tracks, you know?
Yeah.
So that I just wanted to put that out there for both
thank
of
you
you,
so
you know?
much, Sonia.
So
Feel
everything
special.
you guys
Yeah, I
are
feel
seeing,
special.
right, guys, everything
I
you're
do.
seeing, it's not, there's a lot of substance behind what you're seeing every week that you watch. Okay, so now me, I consider myself first and foremost a wife and a mom. You know, I'm a family person. I have a family that I love very much. And then I'm a psychologist.
Yes.
And within the field of psychology, I have particularly specialized training in couples therapy. So that's me.
Okay.
So Sonia, tell us, how would you define love?
Okay. So Alan, because this is about couples, I'm going to assume you're talking about romantic love, because there's a lot of different types of
Yes,
love,
yes.
right? And the truth is, for a large percentage of people, romantic love starts out as a biological function. You know, I'm sure you've gone somewhere and you've seen somebody, and it's just like, that person catches my eye. In fact, if I remember you guys' story, there was something
man.
like that
Yeah,
going
man.
along, right?
Yep,
You don't know a
exactly.
thing about the person, you don't know a thing about them, but there's just something there. And the truth is, there's a lot of biological functioning happening inside. And that's that's often how love starts. There are other people, it doesn't start like that. You know, you start out your friends, there's no particularly, you know, no hotness going on inside.
Yeah.
You know, you
Right,
just start out
right.
at friends, and it develops into something where you admire the person, you feel a connection with the person, and you just feel like you feel better about yourself when you're with the person. So love has a lot to do with how you feel about the other person, but how you yourself feel when you're in the company of that person as well. You know?
Okay.
So it's a wonderful feeling of excitement and attraction.
Yes,
You know?
I can agree.
All right. So with that said, in a relationship, how would we know that we're actually in love?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, a lot of people, they start out with that first flicker that I described
Right,
earlier, you know,
yeah.
and then after they start talking to the person, you either feel this connection or not. You know, when you get to the stage where you find you want to be with this person all the time, okay, you like how you feel when you're around this person.
Right,
You
right.
feel a connection with this person.
Right.
You also find that you want to put the person's needs ahead of your own. You know, you've been struck by the love bug, is what I would say.
Wow.
You know, when you're ready to kind of put this person's needs ahead of yours, you're willing to sacrifice a lot for the other person.
Wow. Are there any stages to love?
Oh,
Would you
there
say-
sure are.
Really?
There sure are. Yeah. The first stage of love we call limerence, okay? And limerence is where the person actually excites a lot of hormones in you. So there's a lot of dopamine and oxytocin. So you feel good,
Yes.
butterflies, and it affects how you think. Right?
yes,
So all the person is just the best thing that has ever come into your life. Any little faults that you say about them, they're completely diminished. Okay? You know, we don't have any problems. Any problems, we'll work it out. No big deal. And you just feel this sense of wellness. Okay? That's limerence. And limerence lasts for between 6 months. Some people it lasts a little bit longer, you know, where there's this sense of almost like you're on a high. You get a little high when you're with the
Right,
person,
right.
right? You're with me, right?
Yes.
But then after that, you get to a stage where now you're ready, you're committing. Okay,
Right, right.
and so you don't necessarily feel it. Life takes over. You know, you have a mortgage to pay. You start thinking about other things. You know, other things start occupying your mind. But at the same time, this person, as I said, is somebody that you want to commit to.
Yeah.
All right, and and commitment is about, I want to be with this person in good times and bad times. I want to work on life with this person, you know, and that's like the second phase of love. And then you get into where love is really tested, okay, and you have to deal with conflict, and that's where a lot of couples fail, unfortunately. You know, conflict doesn't go well, and then that affects their friendship, and then it's not like you want it to be.
Wow.
All right. So now for the big question: is love enough?
It's not.
Oh, that's hard.
Love is not enough for a long-term fulfilling relationship. It's not. You need commitment. And commitment is about when times get rough, am I going to pack up my cards and go home? Or am I going to work through the tough times with this person? That's what commitment is. Okay, so you need commitment. And commitment is only relevant in tough times.
Right.
Right? It's tough times that you know you have commitment. It's when your partner is down on their luck. It's when your partner has lost their job. It's when their partner is, it's when you have hit upon hard times between you. It's when, you know, you're starting to change and your priorities are changing. It's when you're not getting along.
Yeah.
Okay? It's when opinions aren't aligned. It's when times get tough between you that commitment now becomes the most important thing that you can have to keep you going.
Okay, so you had mentioned that these are things that you would identify. So that's when you know that love is not enough. When the hard times come
and you're ready to
pack
move
up.
back to your apartment.
Your own apartment.
I remember that time.
Exactly.
Well, yes, I do remember.
All right. So, outside of some of those things, what are some things that you think are important to the relationship?
Yeah. Okay. What's important to the relationship is that you know how to keep your friendship alive and thriving. Okay? How do you do that? You have to really be knowing you're two dynamic people, you're changing. You probably have found that since you got married to even today, you're a little bit different in some way. You know, your perspective. Of course.
A lot of it.
Right?
For sure.
Yeah. And so to stay connected with each other as you're changing is very important. You know, for some couples as they're changing, they're not sending each other the memo. Right? So 6 years pass and they're two different people and they feel like strangers. So it's very important to stay friends, and you can only stay friends through ongoing conversations where you're sharing.
I love that.
Yeah, where you're sharing who I'm becoming. You know, life changes you, right?
Yes.
You know, kids change you, a mortgage changes you.
Yes.
You know, troubles change you, and you want to be able to share those changes with your partner so that you stay friends.
Yeah.
Okay?
I love that.
Right? It's also important if a big part of your friendship also is being able to always show respect and admiration for each other. One of the things that can undermine friendship is taking each other for granted. Taking each other's qualities, character, strengths, the beauty of each other, taking that for granted. So a big part of friendship is always being able to say, this is really fantastic about you. Validating each other. They call it words of affirmation these days, but that's an important part of friendship, okay? And then one of the big things too is having conflict management skills. Okay.
Still working on it.
Yeah, we you know, because you get the calls. So we have those issues that we're still working out, you know.
For sure.
And we're so happy to have you, you know, in our lives to help us work through them, because it's really hard, guys. Trust me, it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Because we have two strong personalities
Yes.
here, right? So conflict between two strong personalities can really go south.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
and you have to be able to acquire the skills. But we don't come out of the womb with conflict management skills.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I have a
Definitely.
job. Okay,
sure.
so I teach you how to handle the tough times and have constructive conversations about conflict. And I don't know if you guys have ever realized that when you have a difficulty between both of you, and there's a really tough conflict, and you're able to process it with each other and understand each other, I don't know if you've ever noticed that your friendship feels stronger than
Definitely.
even
It does.
before the conflict happened.
Definitely.
Right,
Because we
exactly.
remember even one time in our counseling session where it was really hard for me, and Sonia tell me to my face, say, listen, this is not going to work. And I was like, you know, it felt so hard to hear, but at the end of the day, I feel like we got closer.
No, we definitely did. We definitely
did. We got closer for that.
Yeah.
For that, so, you know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy times.
When you work through the conflict,
Yes.
you get intimacy. That's the truth.
Yes.
Okay.
So one thing, Sonia, what if you find yourself in a situation, right? And you realize that love is not enough? What can you do?
Well, everybody is going to come to that place where they realize love is not enough. Everybody's going to come to that place, okay? And so it's important to acquire the skills that, you know, we talk about. Because Crystal and Alwyn, I'm sure you know that far more relationships fail than are successful, okay?
That's the reality.
That's the reality. And so and that happens not because people don't start out in relationships with the best of intentions. You know,
Right.
most relationships start out with good intentions.
Right.
Okay, I'm really going to take care of this person for the rest of my life.
Right.
But human behavior is as such that it takes particular skills to succeed when you're now half of what we call a couple. It's a different skill set that's required to thrive when you're half of a couple rather than just an individual agent on
Yeah.
your own.
Correct.
Okay, so it's very important to acquire the skills. It takes deliberate skills to build your, and maintain your friendship, deliberate skills to be able to handle conflict when it
Right,
comes
right.
up, and deliberate skills to be able to integrate your lives with each other into a shared purpose.
Right.
Because what other couples find sometimes too is that they're getting along well, the conflict is okay, they're managing conflict well, but there's something where they just feel like two friends sharing a roof almost. Their lives haven't
Like roommates.
integrated. They're like roommates,
Yeah.
right? They haven't come up with shared goals.
Right.
They haven't come up with shared rituals. They haven't created the incorporated company called their marriage, as it was.
Right.
Does that make sense? And so it helps a great deal. I mean, I have to do a plug here for premarital counseling.
Right.
It helps a great deal to acquire those skills because it really sets you up to succeed
Right.
and have a fulfilling relationship, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, man,
Yes.
that premarital counseling, I recommend it. I mean, you've heard us before. It is a must,
Yes.
in our opinion. Go and get some premarital counseling if you are deciding to become married or to be married. Or
Yes.
hear me now? Get married.
It's a leap.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. All right.
Definitely.
Now, what I want to ask is, when we find out that love is not enough, in what situation should we call it quits?
Okay. That's always heartbreaking, eh? Sometimes you come upon a situation where you just have a deal breaker. Okay? You know, the way I want to live my life is not the way you want to live your life.
Correct.
You know, there's some important values that I have that are not aligned with your values. You know, the course of that I want my life to take
Yes.
is not aligned with the course you want your life to take. You know, the way I have certain needs and you can't meet those needs. You know, I have certain needs for respect, for affirmation, and you are not at a place where you can provide that.
Right. Right.
So it's a very honest and transparent conversation that reveals that to people.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
it's where also you realize that I love you, but I'm having a tough time committing to you right now for many different reasons.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and that's probably when you should call it quits. There's also a time too when I love you, but my love is really about the past and past experiences we've had.
Yes.
And the person that's in front of me today, I don't respect as much. You know, I don't feel that same sense of affinity with that person.
Right.
We both changed and gone in different directions, and that's probably when it's time to call it quits.
Wow. Wow. So thanks again for coming
Yeah,
and just
my
sharing your
pleasure.
thoughts and everything with us and your experiences.
Yeah.
And for those of you wanting to hear more from Sonia, she will be hosting a relationship workshop this coming September. So guys, I want Sonia to tell us about it, right? So Sonia, tell us a little bit about, you know, what this will be about.
Okay, I'm so excited about these workshops. So these
Yes.
workshops are for couples, okay?
Yeah.
Now the romantic relationships have what we'd call almost like a developmental course. You know, they go from one stage to another stage to another stage. You know,
Yes.
and this workshop and people change at each stage,
Right,
right?
right.
And different skills are required at each stage.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this workshop is to help guide you through all the different phases of a relationship. Number one, when you're deciding to have an exclusive relationship,
Right,
okay,
right.
that's a whole different world from being a single, happy-go-lucky person. Those rules that applied then not gonna apply now, okay? And you need certain skills to decide to become exclusive in a committed
Correct.
relationship, right? Then the next phase is usually moving in, okay? You know, moving
That's
in
big.
is a big decision,
Yeah.
okay? And it can be a little bit of a rocky ride, again,
It was.
you can, yeah, for sure, you know, adapting and so on.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot has to be, let's say, modified. Let's not say change. There's some modifications that can make it a great experience.
Yes.
Okay, so it's aimed at couples who are thinking about moving in.
Right.
Then you're gonna get engaged, maybe, or some people decide to live together, and that's perfectly fine as well. You know,
right.
but getting engaged, this is for those couples as well. You've decided to take a legal leap now.
Yeah.
All right, and same for getting married.
Okay.
Okay, lots of changes are gonna happen once you make that leap.
Right.
All right, so this is designed for them, and then also being a couple. Having a good time, going out for dinner every Friday night, that's gonna change when you bring the first baby home.
I'm sure.
Okay? Yep. Bringing baby home. And I will say this, guys, you know, what the research has shown about couples is that couples' level of satisfaction actually drops dramatically when they bring their first child home.
Wow.
Right? And not many couples realize that. And some couples, they regain the former levels of satisfaction. Many do not.
Wow.
Okay? And so this is to help warn you that this is what can happen,
Right.
but you can take preventative steps to ensure that it doesn't. This is what you're looking out for, and this is how you're going to adjust in order to take care of baby, but take care of this very important relationship as
right,
well.
right.
So the workshop is for you just to understand we go through changes as human beings, right? And we can, even though we're changing, we can still have a satisfying relationship with this other person who's so important to us.
Right.
And how do you do that? Okay, you have to be able to relate to each other through the ups and downs that life throws you.
So this workshop sounds like somewhere that we definitely need to be there.
Definitely, I agree with you.
We don't
I
need to be
agree
there
with
too.
you. Everybody needs to be there. Once you're thinking about going somewhere with your partner,
Yeah.
then definitely, for sure.
Actually, it's called milestones, as you say that, you know,
Milestones.
different milestones in your relationship.
love
So I like
that.
that you said if you're going somewhere with your partner,
Yes.
come and see us.
Yes,
All right,
for sure.
so those stages are the milestones. So
Yeah,
which
for
one of
sure.
those milestones do you think is the hardest?
But you know what, Alwyn, not only do I think, there's extensive research that shows that bringing baby home is the toughest part.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, because
So
your
we're-
life, it's one of the most profound changes a human being can go through. Alwyn, right now you come home in the evening and you just think about whether Crystal in a good mood or whether what you're going to eat or whatever. That's all you think about, right?
Yeah.
Imagine coming home and now you have the life of another person in your hands. Okay? And you have to balance that, your new responsibility. It gives you a whole different perspective on life, gives you a whole different meaning to life, and you have to balance that with your relationship. Okay? It's not an easy thing to do without the relationship suffering. And also, you're not gonna be the star of each other's show anymore.
Wow.
And that takes an adjustment. Okay, that's a huge adjustment, but it's important that you make that adjustment without leaving each other behind, because that's where most relationships suffer.
Right.
Okay, trying to just manage the we, you know, the us, and now this family that we're creating.
So, how can we register for this workshop?
Great. So we'll be publishing it on our website and on our social media pages. We are
Okay.
Tea House Therapy. You can find us online.
Yes.
And you'll see all the information to register and sign up for the workshops there.
Okay.
Okay. It's called Milestones. I hope to see you all there.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Okay, thank you so much, Sonia, for coming. And for more information on the ways to contact Sonia, you can reach her or you can find her on Instagram. She mentioned it just now, Tea House Therapy, or email Sonia Wynter at teahouse.therapy.com. Her contact number is on the screen. You can also contact her as well.
So there we have it. We shared some things that, you know, you definitely need to know, and we heard and learned some things with Sonia.
Yes, for sure.
Now, guys, I want you to comment in the section below if you think love is enough, and share with us why or why not. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, share it, everything.
For sure. And remember, guys, we have a lot coming up for this season. So turn on your notification bell so that you can never miss a video.
All right, so until next time.
Bye.